Rory Jennings, welcome back to the show. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
You too, Mr. Symeou. Yeah, good to be here. Very excited for the football coming this weekend.
Good to have you as always. And let's welcome in Gareth. Gareth, great for you to be with us. Really looking forward to getting your thoughts on all things Liverpool. How are you, first of all?
I'm good, mate. Thanks very much for inviting me down. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to be in the studio. And yeah, I've listened for years, so it's nice to be in front of the microphone now.
Brilliant stuff.
Put a bit of form together and suddenly he turns up.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Yeah,
see what happens. Sitting top of 2 leagues. He's been listening for years, but suddenly they're top of 2 leagues and he wants to invite.
Where were you last season?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lots to talk about with you, Gareth. The rising cost of football is a big talking point. Let's start with Liverpool. We'll get into that a little bit later. Where does that night rank against Real Madrid among all the other Anfield nights that I'm sure you've experienced over the years?
Certainly up there. It was brilliant. I mean, for me personally, I went with my son to this one. He's only 16 and he hadn't previously seen us beat Real Madrid because obviously they've got a bit of recent history over us.
15 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they've beaten us in finals and it was all starting to reach a bit of the the voodoo stage, really. Would we ever beat them type of thing? So really nice to do it. Bizarrely, I did hear some Reds suggesting that it's a little bit of a free hit and the Man City game's more important. I was never subscribing to that. I wanted us to go and beat them because I think it keeps everyone firing. It keeps the mood brilliant and everything else. And the Conor Bradley tackle on Mbappe, the roof nearly came off for that.
It's up there, isn't it?
It's not even a goal.
Yeah, no, but you can feel those things. Those things really matter.
Special.
They do also go down in history. Those sorts of things. I don't know. I'm not comparing it to this, but there are tackles that you can remember and that do live forever. The one that always springs to mind is Bobby Moore on Pele.
But that is, I really do feel that that's an English football thing. Like, I think if you go to the continent and you say to them, remember that tackle, they don't care.
Xabi Alonso, when he was at Liverpool, literally used to say, he's done an interview, someone can find it somewhere, he said something like, I can't believe tackling is taught and is rated in this country. As far as he was concerned, you've got it wrong if you've got to put a tackle in, basically. Yes. And it was like, yeah.
So it's an interesting angle because we love it. In fact, do you know what? On some level, that Conor Bradley thing, you said the roof comes off. I find that my love of football is almost born out of that sort of incident. I love a goalmouth scramble. I love a clearance off the line. I love a 50-50 challenge. Yeah. And if I'm totally honest, I love a hate-filled challenge as well. I love a filthy... I love it. Like, when Gerrard got himself sent off a few seconds into the game against Man United. I'd love that. I kind of rate it highly, which is
Gerrard's
idiotic,
got a collection of them. I mean, Gerrard, when he was the skin-headed youngster, came on against Everton and cleared one off the line against Everton and celebrated with a fist pump to the fans after he'd done it.
Absolutely.
And everyone obviously did the same thing back. Like, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's so specific to English football culture.
It is, because the great Paolo Maldini once said, if you have to make a tackle, it's because you made a mistake in the first place. So they're frowned upon in other countries rather than celebrated, shall we say. Manchester City this weekend, Gareth. Not very often that City go into a game as the underdogs, but that feels like it's the case this weekend. Does a win for Liverpool put City out of contention?
I would never say out, not at this stage of the season, just because there's so many random factors about football, isn't there, which is one of the reasons we love it. Now, touch wood and everything else, but, we picked up 2 injuries the other night against Real Madrid, Bradley and Konate. Bradley is definitely out, Konate, it's a bit of a wait and see. Things like that can obviously affect your form. It's been absolutely brilliant how Liverpool have started the season, unbelievable. Equally unprecedented what's happening with City, as you said before, but I'd never write them off. You'd be silly to do so, wouldn't you? The amount of things they've racked up, who the manager is, the squad they've got, the players they've got. So no, but equally, I always fancy my chances against them at Anfield anyway, even when they were at the best, because Guardiola himself doesn't like coming there. And anyone that doesn't rate the Anfield atmosphere, listen to what that man says. He doesn't like playing there. City as well, they've only beaten us once at Anfield with 2003 they beat us when Anelka scored 2. So that shows you how far ago that was. And then they beat us in 21, but there's no fans there. It's COVID. Doesn't count.
Is that like the same as your league title, right?
Yeah. Lads, we won 26 out of 27 with fans.
Yeah, I'm inclined to disagree with you a little bit there, Robbo, only because it's your team and it's something that you so desperately want to see come your way. You will believe that there is a chance that Man City can win the league. I just don't think there is. I feel like they're in total crisis, and I know what you're saying. What history's taught us.
They've 10 points back before, haven't they?
They have, but what they haven't done is demonstrate this vulnerability.
But you're sitting here with supporters of two clubs that have gone toe-to-toe with them in recent years, and know that even when you feel like you're almost there, you just can't switch off.
I would suggest
because they're that good.
That they were, and I would suggest that the team that they were is not really comparable to the team that they are. You know, when you think of the team that maybe won the league the year Liverpool got 99 points and somehow managed to not win the league. No, it was
97.
97 points and not win the league. That Manchester City team was littered with icons, like genuine icons at the peak of their powers. That's why they managed to win the league. When you look at this team now, it feels vulnerable. You look at what Tottenham did to them last week. You think about what Rico Lewis was doing in central midfield, totally out of his depth, I thought. You look at the profligate nature of what they're doing in attack, and you look at the vulnerable nature that they're demonstrating at the back. I don't see how they're going to be able to claw this back. I also believe that Liverpool can absolutely smash them this weekend, which will end it as a debate, surely.
I'm not sure if it ends the title race in November. I don't think that... we'll be going into December, of course, but I don't think that, given what they've achieved in recent years and how good they've been and their ability to go on these 15, 16 game winning runs, I just think that you've got to be really cautious if you're competing with them and you're sitting there going, they're done.
Does it not become insurmountable at some point, though? Like 12 points.
Maybe in January or February.
In order for Man City to claw back 12 points over Liverpool, if say it got to that stage, not only does it mean that Man City need to win 4 in a row, which is looking quite tricky at the moment, but it means that they have to win those games when Liverpool drop. I can't see how a swing of 12 points could somehow actually materialise. Look, I do understand that you've both been affected by the brilliance of Man City over the years, and I totally concede that Pep Guardiola is a true icon of the game, one of the greatest managers to have ever lived. But this team just doesn't feel like that. You look at the players that they're relying on doing it. So when they beat you to that league title, you're looking at maybe Kevin De Bruyne at the peak of his powers.
Yeah,
when they've done it in previous years, you're thinking, I don't know, Sergio Aguero. When they won the treble, Sergio Aguero, the 100 points. This isn't that. This is Rico Lewis. This is Mateus Nunes. This is Mateo Kovacic. This is this isn't the Gundogan of half a decade ago. So I do think that there is a real vulnerability to Man City, and I just can't see them.
And we've still got Arsenal kicking about, you know what I mean? I would say
don't
Arsenal.
write us off.
Yeah, but not even being funny, Arsenal are obviously capable of going on a run as well.
Do you genuinely believe that a team can get beat 4-0 in the way that Man City did to Tottenham, and somehow reimagine themselves off the back of that defeat to go and win the league?
Well, didn't Chelsea under Conte get pumped by someone before he turned it around? So it can happen. It can be a wake-up call.
Yeah, I suppose. But again, the point that I will always come back to is about icons, and by I mean international captains, that level. So yeah, the Chelsea team that won the league that year, although a lot of people would look at it and say that it wasn't one of our most masterful, it wasn't one of the best or most talented. It was Antonio Conte at the helm with players like David Luiz, Thibaut Courtois, Cesc Fabregas, Diego Costa. It was a serious spine of a team. Who is this spine? Generally speaking, any team that's won the league, it will go Czech, Terry, Lampard, Drogba. It will be a definitive spine that will ensure that you win games that perhaps you don't deserve to win, drive you on, make sure that everyone around the standards are elevated, the whole tide rises because that spine is in the team. Man City, I don't know what it is.
They are giving sides an unbelievable amount of opportunities, aren't they? That's the thing. I mean, one of my mates was made up. He used the word. He was like, they look pregnable.
Yes.
And they do.
Yeah,
they do, don't they? He's right.
Yeah, they're the very opposite of impregnable, aren't they?
It is a good description of how they are. They give everyone a chance. Everyone gets a chance against Manchester City right now. And we've been all right at scoring goals. So that's what I'm sort of pinning it on a bit for Sunday at the moment. But because it's them and because it's that manager, I just can't do it to myself. I can't allow myself to fully believe yet. Because
that's
it's
good,
November.
though. That's healthy to feel that way, because it means you stay on your toes. Yeah. There's no worry about complacency creeping in. Just very quickly, one of the reasons that you'd be feeling really confident is because Arne Slot has started life at Anfield brilliantly.
Unbelievable.
What have you been most impressed by when it comes to the Dutchman and his leadership of the side so far?
I think it's just his manner, his way. It's the number of players he's so very quickly improved. I think one of the most impressive things has got to be Ryan Gravenberch. I can't think of anyone anywhere ever that said the solution to Liverpool's problem at number 6 is Ryan Gravenberch, and he's been a revelation there, to the point where a lot of Reds advocated him not playing against Southampton because they were worried about not having him for a key week. He's been brilliant. And I wonder what Liverpool might do in the January transfer window now. Do they look to recruit in that position, or do they say, do you know what, actually, we've solved it?
I'm expecting them to do some business in January because they didn't do what I thought they would do in the summer. So I think the fans will be a little bit anxious maybe about that.